when do you think about the river in general, or even this river?
Yeah.
As you want. What do you prefer to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about this river. But yeah, we already talked that for me it's still kind of hard to connect fully with this river, even though we spend already some time on the river. But yeah, I'm still figuring out how to approach it actually.
How to do research on
how to approach the river itself, and then how to apply this approach to the research that we are doing.
I'm Armina Pilav, and I'm, let's say, architect, researcher, feminist, with some kind of collaborative cross-media practice, researching most of the time human destruction of cities, architectures, nature, recently more natural sites, or almost natural sites, because everything is so anthropocentric today that it's difficult to find some pure untouched nature by humans.
I'm Damirjem Ugljena, and my background is in archaeology, and what I study, actually what I like to study, it's a kind of people's relationship to places and to objects, and in this case the river, which is also kind of body that we are considering as an object actually affecting people. I'm interested in all these things when they are changing. So the change is like very important thing, which is bringing like new conditions that we can think about, and these new conditions probably like bringing the situation for the potential novelties and the new things to emerge.
And we are in Maribor to develop the research project, or better to establish some kind of relationship with the river Drava, with KIBLA2LAB, where there exists an idea to merge, how to say, digital and physical environments. It's very difficult to establish a relationship with her water body or the environments that she is kind of subject to. So honestly, we didn't expect that, because in our research practice we already faced some other rivers, as Neretva in Mostar, and that work was completely, it was very body oriented.
And especially me, I already, even before we started our research, I was quite related to that river, and I really, I mean, I still feel it, but I felt it at that moment, so I also find it kind of advantage to start like diving into the river deeply when you already have some connection established with certain body, which is in this case this body of waters that we were working, actually we are still working on.
Yeah, and Neretva and Drava are two different rivers between mountain and kind of lowland river, that is case of Drava. But still, we kind of think that the destruction of both rivers at this moment is really strong, how to say, image that you can have, and in the overall project we were like, now we are in the research process, and we were thinking how to establish this interaction of us with river Drava, but not only us, but also other people who are related to this river more than us, let's say. Especially this morning we were talking about radical imagination, how to bring back river in its natural state. We are talking about 200-300 years ago, even maybe longer. And we might try with some XR technologies and documentaristic, tools like traditional one. Also, including some voices from the nature as well. And this has to do with plants and stones and animals and the water itself. Finally, also the dams that are many on Drava and that are actually changing all the time the river ecosystem since the first dam was made. So somehow also going through the historical documents we found out that the river was exploited always, but let's say in different way, and probably the river was even more free and able to influence the human behavior. But today what we see all the time is that humans kind of change its flow, change its riverbeds, did a lot of construction, so the relationship between humans and river Drava in this specific context is all the time related to the river being a source, giving all the time electricity. So it is source, it is contained, it is, contained river, still river.
But yeah, maybe also this relationship between people and the river that we are also finding out that it's not that strong anymore. Especially in Maribor, all these people that we talked to, they said like, if you see someone even putting his or her hands into the river, then you can consider them kind of tourists hanging around and going through all these historical documents, archives, blah, blah, blah. We are finding out that there is like a huge body of documentation which is related to the river. And now, what we are seeing here, being here all these days, spending time along the river, there is no special actually relationship between people and the river. Except yesterday, yesterday we met some people exactly here swimming and having fun.
Taking sun.
Taking sun also.
But not so many.
Not so many. So there is also some like very turning point between all these historical records and what's actually going on, and all this has to see with this like physical and spatial and even ecological transformation that the river and all its surrounding it's going through in last 100 years.
And when it comes to the idea of some interactivity or an interactive proposal for the future in relation to our work and the Maribor context and surrounding, I mean, I'm wondering if we can work with really like an imaginary project that will bring back some ecological changes, and these changes in our digital / natural environment, I mean the cross. An example would be, okay, let's destroy all the bridges, or let's just destroy all the dams. This might never happen, but it's also possible to think that in 200 years the nature will overgrow. I mean, not only nature, but also probably some kind of interspecies environment, some weird pipes, stones, pipes, herbs, plants. As it is now, like samples, maybe they will become much bigger environment that we are aware of, exactly because of these anthropogenic influences that are not regenerative, but they are just multiplying all the time. Along the river stream are extremely urbanized and, let's say, very different environments. So what we found at the riverside is a lot of iron, concrete, noise of the electric turbines, but we also found some quiet spots that are telling that Drava also has agency of being itself, like herself, let's say. And we also did some investigation around plants. There are different plants who escape from the gardens, so-called escape plants. We found also formation of tubes and stones, and so it is actually, the river flow is very quiet, but all around it is very disturbing, very noisy, active, and kind of telling that the activities at the river are always on the move.
Which is also just a proof that we are again dealing with a living being. So that's also the approach that we are always trying to use.
And I would just add, even if the Drava river body, water body is split in two, starting from Maribor, and then going through all these dams, I still believe that we are dealing with something really alive and kind of also suffering from the idea to split the river body that also meet again. It's definitely weird human idea to get into the relationship with the river. So I really hope that with our work or with the research we can imagine also some other types of relationships, and not simple relationship that the water of Drava is a resource to produce electricity along its course of 700 kilometers, because this is happening in Austria, in Slovenia, as well as in Croatia.
So after all this experience that we are still having on the river, I can say that I'm looking forward for the next step and the ways we can use all this information and knowledge and documents that we are going through these last days.